From Nebraska's trusted news source, this is Channel 8 News at 5.
Coming up tonight, railroad workers have rejected the president's deal, which means another strike is looming and it could bring serious consequences. Plus, a common virus is seeing a spike in cases in Nebraska. Parents will have the symptoms you should be watching for in your kids. Also, after earning back-to-back conference wins, we hear from the Huskers as they prepare for Purdue this week. Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us. Rod has the night off. First tonight, though, we want to start with your weather because some storms late this evening could be in our area, and Chief Meteorologist Rusty Dawkins has been monitoring that strong to severe potential coming with those storms. Rusty?
Yeah, there's not anything really going on yet. This is going to push into later this evening, but we are starting to see just a few showers and maybe even a few rumbles of thunder to our west, which I'll show you here in just a second. First, there's a marginal risk from Omaha, Lincoln south. So basically south central and southeastern Nebraska, that area shaded in green. So that's where your best potential for severe weather is right now. But outside, Schoen's roofing cam in Beatrice just showing plenty of sunshine, and it's a warm day as well. So the warm weather and the humidity is a little bit higher. So that's going to give us a potential for some strong storms. But we also have fire headlines to go along with this. Red flag warnings, fire weather watch. What does that mean? Basically, if you're under one of those, any kind of fire that gets started could get out of control quickly because it is warm out and it is windy and it is dry. And we could even see some lightning as well. But temperatures are in the middle 80s for just about all of us. The wind is out of the south for much of central and eastern Nebraska at 10 to 20 miles per hour. But notice western Nebraska, it's out of the north and west. There is a cold front right down the middle of the state. So all of these wind gusts at 30 miles per hour are kind of shifting in different directions. But there's that cold front right there, and along that cold front, storms are starting to fire just west of Grand Island, and they're making their way east. So the potential for storms is out there as temperatures drop. As we go through tonight, we'll drop into the 50s early tomorrow morning, but the probability for storms comes our way in Lincoln, especially after sunset and into the very early morning hours. So that severe weather potential is out there. We'll talk more about that in just a few minutes.
Sounds good, Rusty. We'll check back in soon. And thankfully, we're talking about rain today because most of the state is still in a drought. Researchers at UNMC are studying the effects of drought on people's health.
When we talk about drought, when we are talking about increase in the temperature, decrease in precipitation, decrease in the snowpack, in runoff, and also groundwater. And those physical changes in the environment will create these pathways that has an impact on the human health.
In the physical sense, drought can bring an increase in dust storms, wildfires, and heat waves. All of those factors can bring negative health outcomes such as respiratory issues, allergy-related illnesses, and heat illnesses. And continuing with health news tonight, the Sickness Rsv has seen a spike in cases this year, which is concerning for parents. Medical experts say adults usually develop nasal congestion or cough, but in small children, the virus can be much more serious. They also say if you have a small child, watch for a decrease in appetite and any struggles with breathing, especially if they're coughing or wheezing, as the virus can also lead to pneumonia and more. The most important thing a parent can do is reach out to their pediatrician if they think there's something wrong.
You can talk through things and potentially get an eye on your child if something is just not right. We really do trust that our parents have the best gut feeling when it comes to their own children. And so it is important that they're reaching out to their pediatrician if they're at all nervous.
Godsill also said when it comes to COVID and RSV, it can be difficult to determine which is which just based on symptoms. She said it's important to get tested and vaccinated to protect children from any viruses. Now to an update on an overnight apartment fire in Lincoln. Investigators are now saying it caused $250,000 worth of damage. The fire started around 11 o'clock last night near 40th Street and Normal Boulevard. Crews battled the flames for a couple hours, and 5 apartment units were damaged by a combination of fire, smoke, and water damage. Investigators say improperly disposed cigarettes on a third-floor balcony are to blame. Thankfully, though, no injuries were reported. Now to a story we've been covering. Earlier this year, Grand Island Northwest canceled their award-winning student newspaper. They say they did this because the superintendent and school administrators were unhappy with the last edition's content, which included LGBTQ issues. This week, alumni and others are requesting the paper be brought back. Here's the latest.
Holy cow! What is going on at our school?
This action from the school received national attention.
It is so saddening to see my alma mater make the national news not for a wonderful achievement, but because it is censoring students because of blatant homophobia and bigotry.
It's a little embarrassing to be represented on the national spotlight with such an out-of-touch sentiment.
Northwest graduate of the class 1998, Tim Warden, wrote an open letter on Facebook.
That really kind of got the ball rolling.
Anger and sadness reign supreme.
And this I hate saying the most. I've always been proud of saying that I taught at Northwest High School. I'm less proud of that now.
The letter has been signed by over 200 people, about 130 of those being Northwest alumni.
The paper provides real-world practical experience for students who are interested in journalism. It just seems like they had something taken away for little to no reason at all.
Now, a new nonprofit led by them is aiming to support student journalists.
Ultimately, we would like the journalism departments to be reinstated at Grand Island Northwest. But if that's not possible, if these current students still want to learn, we want to be able to provide mentors to do that. We want to be a connection.
They say they want to help students achieve meaningful journalism careers, regardless of culture, sexual orientation, gender identity, and more.
This is a really fluid movement. We're a group that's really smart, creative, and we're getting things done.
Allowing these students the outlet of free speech in journalism will not only positively affect their mental health, but will also help you achieve your mission statement. Every student, every day, is a success.
Now the nonprofit has multiple journalism professionals looking to guide and help students.
Those are our three main focus areas: advocacy, mentorship, and scholarship.
And members of the nonprofit say they hope to expand to more students from all over the state and the country. Now to Husker football, fresh off their second Big Ten win after defeating Rutgers on the road 14-13 this past weekend. Interim head coach Mickey Joseph and some players spoke to the media this morning. Sports anchor Lauren Michelson joins us in studio with his message. Lauren?
Yeah, Meg, although not a perfect performance on Saturday, a win is a win. But Mickey Joseph's not wasting any time soaking it in. He has a 24-hour rule, meaning the Huskers have 1 day to celebrate before they get back to work. But that doesn't minimize how much the win meant. Joseph said he's proud of his players for finding a way to get it done, despite being down 13 at half.
I'm proud of our players. The way they responded to the last two games, they found a way to win. You know, hats off to the coaches also. You know, you can preach staying on course, you know, but, you know, working hard, you know, and making things happen, you know, you got to practice that way. You got to practice to make things happen. And, you know, telling them today, you know, we got to make sure we're finishing on every play and every drive.
That doesn't mean there's not plenty to work on, according to Joseph. He says the Huskers struggled in areas like the offensive line, which allowed 1 sack and 3 tackles for loss against the Rutgers defense. One thing, though, seems to be certain. Players are buying into Joseph's 1-0 mindset, and for now, it seems to be working.
We want to build a culture of winning around here, but we have to focus on the process and winning on a daily basis. So we're just focused on taking 1 day at a time and 1 week at a time. And I think since Mickey Joseph has taken over, he's done a good job of just allowing us to focus on the task at hand and not get too ahead of ourselves.
Now the team prepares for the Purdue Boilermakers, who are 4-2 after a 2-point win over Maryland. At 6 o'clock, we'll get more into what Joseph had to say about the Husker defense and wide receiver Isaiah Garcia-Castaneda entering the transfer portal today, Meg.
Looking forward to the rest of it at 6 o'clock tonight. Thank you, Lauren. Now we turn to some national news and new fears of a railroad strike. After one of the biggest track maintenance unions rejected a deal with the railroads last night, it could cause some major economic consequences. ABC's Rena Roy has the latest.
It's a no from railroad workers who have rejected President Biden's deal meant to address demands for better working conditions. 57% of the nation's third largest freight rail union voting against the deal, brokered by the Biden administration last month. The president of that union saying railroaders do not feel valued. The railroad employers say they have implemented some of the recommendations from the Presidential Emergency Board that helped broker the deal, including wage increases and travel reimbursements. The rejection renewing the possibility of a strike if both sides can't come to an agreement within the next month, a strike which could cripple the U.S. economy.
It may be harder to find some of the consumer goods you're used to. I mean, I think most of the stuff that's coming from overseas that comes in through the port usually touches rail at some point, most of it, a good majority. And all of that stuff just being halted.
The price of those goods could skyrocket even more than what we've seen in recent months.
Simple supply and demand. You're going to increase prices in that market. And when those prices go up, eventually that gets passed on to consumers.
The White House releasing a statement saying in part the president remains focused on avoiding a shutdown and pledges to support the parties in their efforts. Two more big unions, the engineers and conductors, are set to vote on this deal. The track maintenance union has agreed to continue negotiations through November 19th, the deadline for a new agreement. If efforts fail, the nation could see its first major rail strike in 30 years, right in the middle of the holiday season. That could mean a blow to the supply chain and economy as a whole. Rena Roy, ABC News, New York.
Still to come on the news tonight, actress Angela Lansbury passed away today. After the break, we'll have a look back at her life and legacy.
Farabee Mechanical is hiring.
America lost one of its leading actresses in film, TV, and theater today with the loss of Angela Lansbury. She died at the age of 96. Her career spanned more than 80 years, and the roles she played are memorable ones. Here's ABC's Rena Roy with a look back.
Angela Lansbury was America's favorite mystery writing TV detective.
I'm Jessica Fletcher.
For 12 seasons, beginning in the mid-'80s, she solved murders and won fans.
You were setting your sister up for a murder charge.
Lansbury thought of herself as a journeyman actress, able to tackle almost any role, from the addled Aunt Adelaide in Nanny McPhee.
Duty, Adelaide, always duty. That was a very brave thing you did, my dear.
To the talking teapot in Beauty and the Beast.
Beauty and the Beast.
To the cold-blooded mother of a brainwashed assassin in 1962's The Manchurian Candidate.
And then when I take power, they will be pulled down and ground into death for what they did to you.
It was her favorite role, a portrait of evil that earned her an Oscar nomination, as did her first 2 movie roles as a scheming maid in Gaslight.
She's a tartar, ain't she?
And the doom lover in Dorian Gray.
I shall always remember this room, just as it is now.
Lansbury was just a teenager here, but frequently played women older than her age, and says she didn't really come into her own as an actress until her 40s.
That's when I finally got to do what I had always dreamed that I would do, which was to sing and dance and carry on.
And boy, did she carry on Broadway, winning 5 Tonys.
Did you come in for a pie, sir? Do forgive me if we had a little vague. What is that? But you think we have the plague?
Lansbury said she liked to be remembered for this role in Sweeney Todd, but her blithe spirit delighted audiences well into her 80s. Rena Roy, ABC News, New York.
Now, your Storm Alert team forecast with Chief Meteorologist Rusty Dawkins.
So we'll start off by looking outside at Aurora, Penner Bathing Solutions camera. A little jiggle in the camera, a lot of wind out there, but plenty of blue sky. Things will start to change, and they're starting to change now, and we'll look at that here in a second. First, it's warm out there. It's a very summer-like feel, 82 degrees in Aurora, 85 Grand Island, 84 in Lincoln, 82 in Nebraska City. So everybody, just about everybody in the 80s, Central City, the exception is 78 degrees. Did you notice the dew point a little more today? It was getting close to 60 degrees there for a while. It's starting to drop off, and that's also a problem. And if you've lived around here long enough, you know that storms sometimes have a problem overcoming dry air. And that's kind of what we have in place right now. It's right in the middle. If it was in the 60s, I'd say no problem, but it's in the 50s and even some 40s. So storms need to overcome that first. We'll see what happens. Wind speed, this is out of the south at 10 to 20 to gusting towards 30 or 35 miles per hour. That's where the moisture is at down south. That will be coming our way on the heels of that south wind. So the wind is going to try to get our atmosphere to be saturated, and that will try to run into this cold front. The cold front is slowly going to make its way east. This is just in the next couple of hours, 7 p.m. By about 9, 10 o'clock, storms start to form along that, and then they'll eventually move to the east, and 1 or 2 could be on the strong to severe side. And then I think by the time midnight rolls around, most of this will be just east of the Highway 77 towards Omaha and down into, say, Gage County, Johnson, Pawnee County, Nemaha, and Richardson County. And then it quickly is gone. Maybe a lingering shower or 2 by 2 a.m. But overall, this chance is going to be very quick, and it's going to have the potential for some moderately sized hail, just some quarter-sized hail possible, and some gusty winds 60 miles per hour or more. So that's the potential with this cold front. Then that moves off to the east very quickly. By 4 a.m. we're left with partly cloudy skies. That's about it. By 6 a.m. we'll be done with a storm chance, and then mostly clear to partly cloudy skies. In fact, we could see quite a few clouds as we head through Wednesday afternoon, especially in central and western Nebraska. Those eventually clear on out, and by Wednesday night, that's it for a while. So if you need the rainfall, this is our next best chance. After that, it is going to be quiet for a while. Now, we're right on the western fringe of this marginal risk. That's a level 1, and we're nowhere near moderate or high risk, but we're right on the western fringe. I think the better chance is going to be in parts of Iowa, maybe even up towards western Wisconsin, maybe even eastern parts of Kansas and northwestern parts of Missouri. But again, we're on the western fringe where the storms start and then move off to the east. Now, rainfall potential is out there, but again, if we do see a 1/4 of an inch or a 1/2 an inch, it would be very fast. It'd be in like 15 or 20 minutes, and that doesn't really do us a whole lot of good. But the threat assessment for tonight, wind and hail, about a 2 out of 5, tornado and flooding, very low, 1 out of 5. It's not 0, but it's not very high either. So temperatures tonight will be in the middle and upper 40s to around 50 degrees. We'll say 48 degrees. A chance for those storms early, well, late, and then early tomorrow morning, we'll have things cleared out. And then a gusty northwest wind, temperatures around 70 to 71 degrees. We'll say 71 in Lincoln, partly cloudy, breezy, and cooler. That northwest wind, kind of a bite to it, 10 to 25 miles per hour. Cooler yet on Thursday, then warming back up into the 70s by Friday and Saturday, then down into the 60s we go, maybe even the upper 50s for highs as we head towards Tuesday. A chilly one by the middle and end of next week with temperatures only in the middle 50s with a chance for, that's the only chance for rain in this 10-day forecast is that next Thursday. So a very dry, unfortunate 10-day forecast. But the potential is there for a few strong storms tonight. If they do happen and they happen to threaten some of us, we'll make sure everybody is up to date on what's going on.
Yeah, and it kind of seems like this may be the last real punch of summer-like temperatures being up in the 80s today.
Yeah, it feels like that setup where it's warm, 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 and then much cooler for a long time.
Yes. All right. Thank you very much, Rusty. Now for a look at Wall Street today. It was a split day. The Dow gaining 36 points, NASDAQ falling 116. The S&P also down about 23 points. Here are your numbers. You're watching Channel 8, Nebraska's trusted news source. Finally tonight, a trio of boaters in a sinking vessel found themselves without communication and surrounded by sharks. Here's tonight's Take a Look at This.
It's the stuff nightmares are made of. A casual Saturday fishing trip became a fight for survival when 3 boaters were left stranded without communication as their vessel began to sink off the Louisiana coast. When the trio failed to return home that evening, concerned family called the Coast Guard. The search and rescue mission found the overdue boaters about 25 miles offshore, fending off sharks. After nearly 24 hours lost at sea, they were rescued and taken to safety. While some adventurers find trouble at sea, some find solace in the sky, or plunging to the ground. 88-year-old Kentucky woman Bernadette Fife celebrated the memory of her son in dramatic fashion.
Am I going to be sitting on there?
Yes, ma'am.
Jumping from a plane 10,000 feet in the air. 4 of Bernadette's 5 living children have skydived for their 60th birthdays. Another son, Bobby, died in 1979 and would have turned 60 this year. To honor his life, Bernadette took the leap. But not all great loves are memorialized the same way. A 17-foot statue has been erected in the Cheeto community of Alberta, Canada, a monument to one of mankind's greatest culinary achievements and perhaps one of the most annoying snack side effects, the Cheeto, otherwise known as the sticky, cheesy dust left on fingertips after a Cheeto binge. Frito-Lay says the orange-tipped finger statue will remain in Cheeto until November 4th before embarking on a tour across Canada. For Take a Look at This, I'm Amanda Sansoni.
Rusty, one final check of the weather.
Yeah, we have storms that are trying to fire up right now in portions of central Nebraska, just west of Grand Island. We'll keep an eye on those. That's associated with that cold front that is making its way across the state. On the other side of that cold front, some light scattered showers in parts of the Panhandle. So your 7-day forecast looks like this. A lot of fall-like temperatures on there, 60s, 70s, even some 50s on there. Not much in the way of precipitation, though, so hopefully if you need rain, you see it tonight.
Absolutely. Thank you, Rusty, and thank you all for joining us. We'll see you right back here at 6 o'clock. Have a great night.
With the Channel 8 News mobile app, you'll be the first to know. Get alerts about breaking news and weather, all in the palm of your hand.
The spas are here. Truckloads of spas arriving weekly.
Hurry in today.
These spas are going fast. Spas are in stock and ready for immediate delivery.
Supreme Spa and Pool.
Closed captioning on Channel 8 Eyewitness News is brought to you by Christensen Hearing Analytics.
Therapy Mechanical is hiring. Are you a welder, Class A CDL driver, or labor?